Hello everyone, welcome to Paper and Moose and welcome to Mail Day. Today's Mail Day is brought to you by the letter S for Steve. If you are a follower of the channel and have been enjoying my Mail Day videos, then you know some of the wonderful treasures that Steve has sent, from photo albums to dental equipment to even a moose antler. Yes, a moose antler. What a surprise that was. So I'm excited to see what Steve has sent today. Well, as you can probably see, there's a little difference in my background. I have a painter in, and they've been here for what feels like forever. So everything had to be taken off the walls. Furniture had to be moved into a centralized location, pushed away, pulled away. So I've been working with that. And that kind of, it really shows you what kind of schedule that you are used to when it's, I don't want to say interrupted, but when it's a bit changed. And so you have to rework your schedule. You have to realize you might not get certain things done when you wanted to, etc. So we are working with that. It is also the first day of summer, so happy summer to everyone. We are experiencing the summer heat up here in New Jersey, the first heat wave, as they are dubbing it, of the summer. In the 90s, it's hot, it's humid, but that's all a part of living where we do have the 4 seasons. So in no time at all, we'll be talking about the possible blizzard that is on the way. Since the last mail video, I have received some sad news. Our friend Jackie, whose package I opened in the last video, I have heard that she has passed away. I know that she had been sick, she had been in the hospital, and so she wasn't able to comment as much as she always did, because she was a fervent watcher and commenter of both mine and Taco Stack's channel. And then I heard that she has passed away. So our thoughts and prayers are with her friends and her family, and she will definitely be missed in the comments. She always had some fun stories to tell, and of course we knew all the treasures that she sent to both myself and Taco Stack. So let's all think of Jackie and hope that her family and friends are doing okay during their time of grieving. Other news in the channel, as many of you have commented or may have seen, I have hit the 80,000 subscriber mark. I had a few videos that have done really well, so thank you to all of those that have watched those videos, that are new and that have subscribed. I hope that you stick around for many more adventures. Is that 100K possible by the end of the year? I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to, have high hopes, but I am hopeful. Perhaps, maybe. We shall see, but reaching the 80 was a great marker, and so just keep pushing along. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. What else for Paper and Moose? Well, I have been, as many of you have seen, doing more storage units, and those videos, most people, not everyone, loves the storage unit video, and they are fun to film even when you are out there sweating, which will be in an upcoming video, probably within the next 2 weeks. It was hot. It was hot. And then when you got to a certain point in the upper atmosphere of the unit, you reached a whole new level of heat. But those videos are always, as I said, fun to go through and see what you can find. The most recent one with the Red Cross posters and lithographs, they were just unbelievable. And unbelievable that I only got that unit for $30. You could clearly see that poster. Wasn't sure if it was a real deal or not, but it is. So that was a great find for me. A few auctions coming up, hopefully some estate sales, yard sales. We know how I feel about yard sales, but we'll see if I can get out to a few of them. And then more history behind the paper. Lots of things to research. I'm still working on the letters from Berlin. It is funny as I go through and I continue to edit and refine my translations, I'm picking up other little bits of information. And then Carol, Jack's daughter, messages me that she's found this paper in her dad's papers. And what do you think it is? Well, it's Jack's address when he was in Berlin. Or here, the whole entire time, he had Pumal's last name written on a piece of paper. So it's really exciting to go through and find those little bits now that perhaps when I first translated, I didn't see, I missed, I was too excited in the whole translation. So still working on that. Still have plenty of other research projects from Steve, from Uva, from Phil. So lots and lots of research to do amongst all the other activities of being a content creator and reseller and flea market goer and estate sale shopper, etc. But enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get to Steve's treasure sent in the mail. Now, it would not be a package from Steve without a little history in an envelope. Now we have a penny, a black capital for the world to see. The wheat penny, I believe that is. Let's see. And again, this is by Pamela Austrian Photography. And you can visit their website at madrasplanet.smugmug.com. Great photography. Oh. We have a 2-pager here. Oh wow, Renee. I've written a short version, 3 paragraphs, and a longer version, 1 3/4 pages about the card. I wrote the long version first, and since it took a while and has some interesting detail, I couldn't bring myself to delete it. Don't delete it. That would be like, that was my struggle, and it's still my struggle when I was in college and graduate school and I had to write a paper. And you know, they wanted it to be 20-page max. I'm trying to delete 15 extra pages of information. It was difficult. But it probably won't hold people's attention, and the short version will work better at keeping the video to a reasonable length. That's okay, Steve. We will go with the short version though, because I'm sure the long version will have me go on many rabbit holes. Short version. This card shows one of 6 monuments on Paris Street in downtown Durham that celebrates the location's history as Durham's Black Wall Street. Durham has certainly seen its share of racial conflict. During Reconstruction and the early part of the 20th century, however, Durham saw the rise of a black middle class and many prosperous black-owned businesses. After a visit to Durham in 1910, Booker T. Washington wrote, "I never saw in a city of this size so many prosperous carpenters, brick masons, blacksmiths, wheelwrights, cotton mill operators, and tobacco factory workers among Negroes," he continued. "Of all of the southern cities I had visited, I had found here the sanest attitude of the white people toward the black." That was from Durham, North Carolina, a city of Negro enterprises, The Independent, from 1911. Eventually, the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company and Mechanics and Farmers Bank anchored Durham's Black Wall Street. Each began by serving the local black community of Haiti, pronounced Haiti, thank you, Haiti. By 1910, NC Mutual Life had expanded to other cities with significant black populations and was recognized as the world's largest Negro business, quoted in Wikipedia. Mechanics and Farmers provided Durham business investment capital free from white control. 10 years after it opened, M&F loans tripled the number of black-owned businesses in Durham. M&F was also only one of only 2 banks in the area to weather the 1929 stock market crash and the Great Depression. Durham's Black Wall Street continued to prosper until the middle of the 20th century, when Durham's urban renewal program demolished much of Haiti to build a freeway. I think we've heard this story before, this scenario before, unfortunately, in many towns and cities. The same freeway reduced the customer base for downtown businesses by enabling urban flight and urban sprawl. The anchor businesses fared somewhat better. At the time, NC Mutual was liquidated in 2022 following financial difficulties. It was the world's largest and oldest African American life insurance company. Mechanics and Farmers is still in business today, posting 108 straight profitable years before experiencing its first net financial loss in 2016. Information from Wikipedia. Summarized by Steve and captured in a photograph. And these are why photographs are so important. And why Steve always includes a photo card from Pamela Strand Photography. You do a great summarization, I must say, and how informative as well. So thank you for that, Steve. We all have, there's your history behind the paper, or the history behind the photograph for today. So to the contents of the box. After a couple of big boxes, I managed to keep everything relatively small this time, except for my description of the card. No worries, I will read that once I'm done going through all this treasure. What's included? All right, bag one. Album of a Nurse covering 1941 to 1949. Initial and major part focuses on her time serving at the Dayton, Ohio Veterans Administration Center and Hospital. Wow, that part shows nurses and doctors' quarters, surgical building, tuberculosis hospital, and other places on the grounds. Trips to West Virginia, Western states, Utah, Nevada, Colorado. Ooh, she went to the grave of Buffalo Bill. Would love to go visit that someday. Then album goes backward to high school and nursing school. Album is well annotated, including many nurses' names. Very clear which of the nurses own the album, but not sure her name is listed anywhere. I only skimmed it. I have years of research to do, thanks to Steve. As I stated, I'm still working on the Berlin letters. I have the box of treasure from Buzz that he found and saved off of eBay. That is being worked on. I know Steve had sent the album of the dentist. That's being worked on. I need focus, because I get down so many rabbit holes and then I end up researching something that I read a sentence on, and then next thing I know, it's an hour later and it's time for bed, and what did I get done? I'm sure I'm not the only one that has that problem. There's just so much to learn and research and understand, and so much history to appreciate, that it becomes difficult for me, because I want to learn it all, I want to research it all, and I want to share it all with you. See, we already went on a rabbit hole. Let's open box one, or bag one. Scraps and snaps. Is that copyrighted? Because that's a great phrase. But many people think of snaps as the back of a hat. Snaps. Oh, wow. Yes, they have great handwriting too. Apartment house on South Main Street, where I lived when first arrived in Dayton. So great little snapshots. The living room of the second floor nurse's cottage. I don't know how much you'll be able to see. Yes, this is very, very well annotated. The main Veterans Admiral Hospital, Brown, in 1947. And to think about being a nurse during that time, being a nurse at any time, but here you just had World War II, and you're dealing with the veterans of that war, and also the veterans of the First War. Old Soldiers Home, one of our companies. There's chapels. This is a great photo taken by patient. So the patient took, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, probably not, the photo of her. I'm gonna see if I can take this one out. So it looks like she wrote on the back, and then I'm guessing she transferred that to here. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this man is a, it looks like the same man. I wonder what he saw in the war, because his body looks like it has been through a lot. And I think she wrote his name down. But here, I'll give you an idea. So Patience. Getting ready to gallop. This is when they rode at Mickey's Riding Stable in Dayton, Ohio. They went golfing. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of, oh my gosh, there's even more back here. There's newspaper articles. Taken summer of 1941, age 17. Steve. I'm really interested in the patients that she has the photographs of, because thinking of their story and their journey and their time spent at this VA. And this is only bag one. For bag number two, well annotated, loose leaf photo album showing a 1949 vacation in Yellowstone and the western U.S. titled Westward Ho to Idaho, Vacation 49. Of course, they stopped at Yellowstone, as evidenced by a photo of people on bears on the road, around cars, caption, "Yup, them is bars." And I don't think I mentioned it before. I may as well mention it now. I will be going back to Yellowstone the end of September. Trip number 6, made possible by my good friend from college that lives out in Cody, so I can stay at her house. She cooks wonderful meals and baked goods, hang out with her family, and then travel on into Yellowstone, come on back and stay with her again. So yes, I will be out there at the end of September. I'm excited. And it's not that far away. June, July. Wait, we're in June. July, August, September. So I guess cat's out of the bag on that one. Let's see what bag 2 holds. This is something that I would expect to find shuffling through a box lot at an auction. I love, did they print that or write that? But that is such a great font. Our first picture stop. I love these people. They had to have written that. Wow. Spectacular exhibits of erosion and variegated colors and fossil beds of prehistoric animals. Mount Rushmore. I want to get there at some point just to see it. I've said this before, I've heard different kind of reviews, like, whatever. But my one aunt also called the Grand Canyon the big hole in the ground, and she could have cared less if she saw it. Meanwhile, I loved seeing it and want to go back to it. Rapid City, Dinosaur Park. Any similarity, purely incidental. I think we can assume what other famous dinosaur she was referring to. Wonderful Wyoming. Entering Wyoming, drive carefully. Self-explanatory. Devil's Tower. I need to just travel the state of Wyoming. That's what I need to do. Bighorn Mountains. Oh my gosh. I love this person's handwriting. Absolutely love their handwriting. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yellowstone Falls from Artist Point. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to be back there again. The famous Old Faithful. Yellowstone Lake. How many pictures have been taken of this, of Old Faithful? How many? Oh my goodness. She took a lot of the falls from Artist Point, Canyon of Yellowstone. Spectacular sight. Oh my, this is crazy. Look at this. So yeah, there's the car, there's people, and there's all, they look like little cubs. Wow. I mean, sure, I would love to pet a little cub, but I'm not doing it there. I'll never work for a zoo, so I don't think I'll be able to do that there. It's so funny when you see that. They're so cute, those little babies. And then you just have them hanging out. They're hanging out with the dog. Is everybody happy? You bet, and hungry. How great. The long abandoned old powerhouse and Ingrid. A fast 3-unit diesel starting west across railroad trestle and Algot. What a name, Algot. Algot and Ingrid. They're probably like, take the photo, let's get on with it. Oh, Tetons. Would love to get back through the Tetons again. Loved that drive to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Let's see, bag 3. Yellowstone album, Sad Bear souvenir cover of a July 1935 family trip to the park. Nicely annotated. Shows some of those antler arches you mentioned. Yep, those are down when you go through the Tetons in Jackson Hole. Picture of a bull moose. Hard to see. People get close to bears, but not moose. No hugging allowed in the park. Oh, he's chained to the tree. Oh my gosh. See, there's a different cover. We haven't seen that one before. Oh wow. Snake River Trout. Billy. Our Gang Comedy. Is that really him? Billy Barty. Our Gang Comedy. Burley, Idaho. They met him? He's randomly in there. But then you have the guy with the fish. First meal in the park. Again, another great album. Up They Spout, Gem Pool, Geyser Pool, 42 inches deep. I almost prefer, I mean, I take the same photos of the same things when I'm out there with maybe a bison positioned in different areas, but I think seeing them in black and white just gives it brings something new. Oh, there she is. Old Faithful Inn at a distance. Can never get enough of Old Faithful Inn. They stayed at one of the cabins. Waiting for an 80-cent breakfast? What? So there is a line of people waiting to get in for an 80-cent breakfast. I'll have to get my magnifying glass and see if I can see what cabin number they stayed in. Then I can get a picture of it. Bag 4. I feel like a Joanne come lately with this since Uva sent you something similar. This is a 1942 album titled My First Big Mountain Tour. Photos of a group of German speakers hiking, skiing, and exploring mountains, etc. in central Austria. Captions are in German. I didn't try to translate except looking up the title and a couple of place names, leaving that fun for you. Oh, thank you. Translating. Hey, it's all goes to practice and becoming better. Whoops, the album. back's coming off a little bit, but that's okay. What do you expect from an album this age? But a great front. The spiderweb front page. My first big mountain tour in 1942, which is great to know the year and to think about what was going on. I don't want to break anything. This is going to be a little difficult. The first look, you can see maybe all those little dots are people. And it's funny because you look at the photos and these don't look like they're from the 40s, to me at least. I look at these people and I'm like, I don't know, maybe the 60s. I can't even imagine. First of all, let's just consider, okay, they're climbing in the snow, they're on this cliff, it's cold. Second, you have someone not only with all their skiing and their hiking equipment, their snowshoeing equipment, but their camera equipment, their camera. Hey guys, let me get this shot. 3,798 meters. Wow. How beautiful though. Oh, look at this one. That's one. This was taken out of a book, Little Glockner and the Passage to Great Glockner. I've never been skiing. I did snow tubing once and that was enough for me. Not similar at all, but that was enough. It survived all these years. Who knows where it could have been before, and now it made its way here. Bag 5, 1944 press photo of a U.S. Merchant Marine cemetery in Iceland. My grandfather was a Merchant Marine. I have his little leather book that he put all sorts of things in it, from the poems he wrote to some of the stubs from doing laundry, and his photo ID card when he was in the Merchant Marines. And it's one of my most prized possessions. Let me take it out of here because of the glare. Over 5,500 gallant merchant seamen have made the supreme sacrifice since Pearl Harbor. Close to 2,000 of these were lost in the unequal battle of the Atlantic in 1942. Some of their bodies were brought to the shores of Iceland and occupy this modest cemetery cared for by the Army. One of the things that I feel good for doing is that the right phrase? When I was in Florence, Italy, I went to the American cemetery near Florence, and I felt, I guess you could say, so honored that here I was, a young American girl in my probably late 20s, and I was able to go over there and pay my respects to our American soldiers that died during World War II and that never made it home. The cemetery is beautiful, just beautiful. And I thought to myself, how many moms, dads, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins have never been able to make it over there to visit their loved one's final resting place. And here I was. So I feel very honored that I was able to do that. But wow. Yeah, Merchant Marines were, I don't want to say ignored by the Veterans Administration, but they put up a battle to be even recognized as veterans. It took quite a while. So I'm gonna do more research on the men that are buried there and pay them the honor and the respect that they deserve. Watch your release date, not before May 17th in 1944. Bag 6. 1940s album belonging to a John of Hurley, Wisconsin. Titled in red inside front cover, upside down, maps and photographs of my travels. Volume number 8 shows many annotated shots of family and friends, plus a world tour on the Merchant Marines. At least 3 very nice hand-drawn maps along with the handwritten list. States he's been in, ships he's been on, and ports. Looks like it was made in 1949, but show pictures of his travels in 1948 and photos from the early 40s. He found some old negatives and had them developed. Let's check out this bag. A classic photo album. Oh wow, that is funny. Volume number 8. What happened to the other volumes? Can you imagine? Oh, such great photos. Andy and Slim. I'm guessing they called him Slim because he looks like he's rather husky. That's Slim. Everyone has nicknames. Cotton, Swans. I love it. Clem and Vic. Oh, what a great map. Sailing I did and different ports I hit while sailing the Great Lakes up to August 1949. What kind of marker? Such great penmanship that people had back then. Look at this. Dominion of Canada. Wow. That's a great map. Put that map on a shirt. I love the look of it. Different ships and ports. Wow. He put the dates that he started, signed on November 3rd, 1946. Pages are falling out. Lincoln Memorial, Vic and me. Love the shots of Lincoln. Old negatives I had redeveloped, taken around 1940. Pictures taken of Ma, Pa, Annie, and me. Oh my gosh, this guy is melting my heart. Yeah, I know I'm doing an awful job of showing the photos, but this guy is melting my heart. Pictures taken at the graveyard around 1943. I think people still do that today too. Ma and Annie. Oh, Ma and Annie. Manila Harbor. Annie and Catherine. Let me find some photos of bridge between Hancock and Houghton, I think it is. Traveling I did in the winter of 1948. Great view. Pete, 8 to 12 watchmen. And then there's a picture of Bill, who was another watchman. He's sleeping though. And there's Pete in the middle. I think you look in these photos and I mean, you know, life was hard. Life is hard in general. I think regardless of what time, depending on your circumstances, but just what, you know, the United States had been through, what this young man was going out and seeing, doing. And then you look at the photographs and you're like, yeah, but they still look like they had a lot of fun, that they enjoyed life. Bag 7, few of these surprises have folded orange sticky notes with descriptions if needed. Bag 7, surprise, not dental. Perhaps this comic book will be the one that allows your ship to come in. It's about a superhero for sure, but not a Marvel type. I'm intrigued. Danger Below. 1945 Merchant Marine comic book. Recruiting. small American freighter was churning along in the South Pacific one evening in November 1942, unaware that an enemy submarine was lurking in the black water. Below decks, Cadet Midshipman William Thomas of Alameda, California, was turning in for the night. Did I say quiet? Thomas was decorated with the Distinguished Service Medal by Admiral Emery Scott Land. Any other merchant mariner would have done the same for a buddy, sir. First time I am seeing, heard of, even knew that they made merchant marine comics. Again, I think, this is something that could possibly be in a tote from the Tote Man, in a random drawer at an estate sale, in a box lot at an auction, and you just have to take the time to look and read and be like, oh my gosh, it's about the Merchant Marines. Let me put that in my bag. How many of you knew that there were Merchant Marine comic books? I know that I didn't, but now I do. And now I have one. Bag 8, surprise, not dental, but it could use whitening. Named. You're really good with these little hints. Though most times I don't know what it is. World War II, a Merchant Marine shirt, name under bottom hem. Now, I do have my grandfather's Merchant Marine uniform jacket. Look at that. We have the back. And this pocket. There it is. How hard would it be to find that? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. It has a common last name, but how many of them would have been in the Merchant Marines? Hang this up. I'm not going to try and clean it. Those stains just are part of its history. Oh, wow. Bag 9. Surprise, dental, but still used to float. Gas? I'm thinking of floating like, you're floating high foot and not gas. Because it looks kind of scary. Oh, to file, float, horse's teeth. You tricked me for a minute. Oof, oof, that just hurts my mouth thinking about this. Imagine if your dentist came out and be like, okay, we gotta file some of your teeth down. Don't worry, I have my trusty floater. Oh man. I'm sure they still use this similar thing today or something like it. Thank goodness they don't use this on our mouths. Oh, that hurts. Oh, my teeth are cringing just thinking about this. It's still pretty sharp. Oh, wow. You find the most interesting things, Steve. I gotta tell you. Bag 10, surprise, not dental, named. I mean, that's the point. I should just give up trying to decipher these clues. Well, it's an ID tag. World War II Merchant Marine dog tag. Kenneth. I still think how crazy it would be if amongst any of, the Merchant Marine stuff that Steve has sent, that other viewers have sent, that I come across, if somehow amongst the photos I would find or see my grandfather in those photos. That would just be something. Like how crazy would that be? And he It's very distinctive looking. So he would be easy. It'd be like, yeah, that's definitely him. Definitely him. Bag 11. Surprise, not dental, but one might eventually get one's teeth tickled as the result of purchasing it. I shouldn't even guess because my guesses are usually totally off. Oh. Oh my gosh. This is a sweetheart bracelet? Yes. 1944 Merchant Marine sweetheart bracelet made in Iran for the one you left behind. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Oh my gosh. So you have the Merchant Marine emblem in the middle. Wow. Is there a name? No, it just says Merchant Marine. Then you have ships and palm trees. And then the 1944 and Iran on the other side. What a treasure this is. I mean, I've seen sweetheart necklaces, I've seen sweetheart rings, but I have never seen a sweetheart bracelet. And it is beautiful. Last but not least, we have bag 12. Surprise, not dental. But having seen some of the other items, you will no doubt want these to begin the next stage of your career. What's the next stage in my career? Am I ready for this next stage? I'm still learning and figuring things out. Seaman's Handbook for shore leave. I could not be a merchant marine because I'm not a very good swimmer. Not at all. This is 1944, dedicated to the heroic merchant seamen of the World War. It has all the places that you could go in the different areas. In Greenland, note there are no accommodations for seamen here. If leave is allowed, native life may be observed in the village. France, Detroit, Michigan, hotels for officers, the Narrow Disease Clinic, if you need that, laundries, public library, amusements. Wow. And there's one more thing. How to get a job on a ship. Only 50 cents. Speaking of ships, totally different topic, but the, oh my gosh, Deadliest Catch that was or still is on is a TLC with Micro narrated it. As much as I think it would be so interesting to be on those ships, seeing what the fishermen go through every day, I would be so sick. The seasickness, there's no way I can handle that. Wow, only for 50 cents. 1950. So how do you do it? They list all the different officers. There's the different schools. The starting jobs or entry ratings in the engine department are those of wiper and coal passer. The work is unpopular, and an experienced man who is qualified for a higher rating will often hold out for a better job if he can do so. A coal passer. I can't even imagine. Men in the engine room might get along without the heavy underwear, the raincoat, and the boots, but their ship might run into cold or stormy weather. So it tells you, all the different kind of clothing, equipment items that you need. Don't make the mistake of boarding your ship with insufficient clothes. It's no fun at all to work in the face of a biting gale without warm gloves or to run around a deck in a storm without boots. No way. As much as I love the ocean, I might have to pass. because my seasickness, my motion sickness would not be good. Not be good at all. Well, Steve, what surprises you sent in the mail. I can't express adequately how appreciative I am of everything that you have sent throughout the years, and how kind and generous you are, and how patient you are with the research that I still have to do for all of these treasures. It truly is amazing what you find, what has been out there, what has been saved, and what has been sent to me. And I honestly cannot thank you enough. Words cannot saying thank you gajillion times would not be enough. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all that have watched. I hope that you've enjoyed seeing some of the photographs, the albums, or hearing the stories behind these memories trapped on paper, trapped in time. There is still so much out there to learn, to research, to find. There has been so much that has been saved, and that continues to be saved, or that needs to be saved, and find someone that can enjoy it and do the due diligence of research, or just looking at it once more and remembering these people, these times that have passed. And I thank you for letting me be that person in a small way of doing that. So thank you so much, Steve. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you for getting me to that 80,000. Here's to many, many more, so that we can share the joy of paper and treasure hunting and finding things that have been hidden away for years, bringing them to light and letting others enjoy them for a little bit more. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a great day. Stay cool in this heat, and I will see you all next time for the next adventure here at Paper and Muse.